Hey, have you ever thought about how crazy it is that we breathe in oxygen and somehow our body magically swaps out carbon dioxide? Like, why doesn't the CO2 just stay in our lungs and mess everything up? And isn't it wild that gases just move from places where there's a lot of them to places where there's fewer, like a party where all the noisy people crowd into the quietest room? That's diffusion, right? But how does our body control it so perfectly? Oh, and check this out. There's this thing called the PF ratio that doctors use to figure out how well your lungs are working when you're hooked up to a ventilator. Like, they actually measure oxygen weirdness. How can you even measure something as invisible as gas? Wait, have you heard of anatomical shunts? Parts of your blood just sneak back to the heart without getting oxygen? That sounds like cheating. Why doesn't the body just fix that? And get this, there are bronchial veins that dump nasty low oxygen blood right into your oxygen-rich pulmonary veins. It's like mixing soda with vinegar. Why would nature want to make our blood less pure? Plus, there's something called dead space in the lungs. Like spaces where air goes in but doesn't get to exchange oxygen and CO2 with blood. Why would our lungs have useless areas? Isn't efficiency like the whole point? I read about different zones in the lungs where the ventilation and blood flow aren't balanced. At the top, lots of ventilation but little blood flow, and at the bottom, lots of blood flow but less air. Why not just make everything balanced everywhere? And what about pulmonary emboli that block blood flow and create dead space? Can you imagine your lungs' highway suddenly closed for traffic? No oxygen delivery? How does the body deal with that? Also, oxygen travels in blood in two ways: dissolved in plasma and mostly bound to hemoglobin. Hemoglobin can carry 70 times more oxygen than what's just dissolved. How does hemoglobin even hold on to oxygen like a magnet? And how does it know when to let go? Finally, that thing called hemoglobin saturation. It's like a percentage bar showing how full of oxygen the hemoglobin is. What happens when it's not fully saturated? Does your body throw a party or hit panic mode? So many weird and awesome things happening every second just so we can breathe. Isn't that the craziest thing ever? Reality's broken again, but hey, biology's got duct tape. What do you think could go wrong?